What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is Monday, another later day, but you know, it ain't that bad. I think I'm focused more on just having a job, getting money, you know, that kind of stuff. Having that kind of stuff in my life feels a little better. My worst days, I got humbled because in my worst days, just a late day. I mean, not that late of a day compared to my other jobs, but you know. But I was on Reddit a couple of days ago, and I was just reading about salaries and stuff like that. And this one person was like a doctor, or at least I think him and his wife were a doctor. And for them, a worst day is somebody dying. So, especially for the wife. Actually, the wife was like in pediatric emergency something. So for her, it's kids dying as the worst day. So that's I didn't know that. I did not want to know that. More so, not that I didn't want to know that. It's just that I wasn't aware that that was a thing. But life is boundless, I guess, and that can be a good and a bad thing, you know. But that kind of put things in perspective for me. I was like, I complain about staying late at work, but like most people do. But in some cases, you know, for some, the worst day. I mean, I guess the worst thing that could possibly happen to you is to die. But yeah, I mean, that's I wouldn't say that's as common as I would imagine it to be. Whoa. But obviously, that isn't what we want, and nor should that be normalized in any sense. But in terms of hospital problems, patients and all that, then yeah, you know, it makes sense that people will die, because that is a place where people die, where they go to die while trying to be saved. And it's sad because we're all trying to live our life, and shit happens, I guess. But I didn't mean to start off on a depressing point. I think I just had I had that thought in my head when I was thinking about being late. But yeah, I mean, today was pretty good. Today was pretty good. Overall, it was good. There's a lot of waiting, and that's not the biggest issue in my life. So it would be an issue if I was getting out really late, which would be 4 o'clock. That would be a problem for me. So, but I'm not there yet. And even if I was there, I'd probably hold on for a little longer, you know, before I would consider getting another job. So yeah, it is hotter nowadays, so it gets hot in this car. My throat gets a lot more drier. Gets more dry this way, I feel like. Also, since I work around a bunch of construction stuff, all that sawdust, fiberglass stuff like hits my arms, and it makes me all itchy, especially with the heat, because I believe it opens up your pores, so it just makes that itching feel worse, like a rough tingling. But yeah, I mean, that's not a biggie. Once I get home, I can shower and, you know, be alright. Well, let's see. Today I want to visit my mom, and I actually drew her a picture of her and her old dog. Well, I say her old dog because it was like the family's dog, but not to get into it, but for some reason, a party of my family member of my family thought it was a better idea to let him go due to a change of lifestyle, I should say, I guess. And so that dog was given to somebody else, which I think overall it was a better choice, just because it was given to somebody that I was told was more of a dog person. So, you know, little Schnauzer. Buster's in a better place with someone else that wants, you know, to be around them more than just, you know, us. I mean, we never mistreat him. I would never mistreat a dog or any pet really at all. But I think beyond that, that is the basic decency to have a pet. You know, like you gotta take care of it, but you also gotta, you know, if it's a dog, take it out. Cats are low maintenance, but everything else, if it needs some kind of maintenance to it, or if it thrives on being outside, or just something like that, then yeah, that's what you gotta do. You know, like for a guinea pig, giving them celery, all that kind of good veggies, they love those. So yeah, but anyways, I painted up. I didn't paint a picture. I drew a picture of my mom and Buster together, and they never had a picture together, at least not that I can think of. I mean, I'm sure my mom has a couple pictures out there, like anybody would with any of their family pets, but I decided to draw one yesterday, and yeah, I'm gonna go over to her house with my kid and spend some time, hopefully, but I don't know if she's busy or not, so I'll have to text her first. But that is the plan for today, and then maybe some homework. I also plan on working out too. Not sure actually. A lot to think of. But yeah. So, good times. I finished Sabriel. It was a good book, although the ending kind of seemed like, I feel like how old movies end, in a way where, I mean, I think of like Leprechaun 2, where it just ends like that right after the fight, and that's how Sabriel was essentially. It just kind of, I wouldn't give anything away for some old book, but it just ended like that. It's like, I mean, if I go into any more detail, it would be spoiling more, but there was nothing after. Like, it's like if you got in a fight with somebody and then like the book ended after you guys fought, and then right, like not even after you guys fought, but it was like literally as the bad guy is down on the floor, and then that's it. And you're beat up a little bit, but you know, you're there. So yeah, that was that. I was like, huh. I mean, it was a good book though. So I definitely recommend it if you like, you know, fantasy. I like the cover. That's what kind of got me into it. I started in high school. Funny enough. Holy cow, that's a long time ago. And then I never got back around to it, so I took it upon myself to finally finish it through. And it was a good book. I think it was a pretty good book by its standards. I'm sure it would be even a better book or a greater book if I considered it to the standards of the 1985s. So, yeah, I mean, it seems a bit, I think it would be a bit, how would you say, unfair to some books if you don't, or some media, if you were to judge it for what it's worth for that time. Because I feel like a lot of it builds up upon itself. So, you know, like fantasy books and all that, you know, they all build upon each other, so you get even bigger hits and such, I would say. So I think it's fair to consider the time that it was in for the critique of the book. Oh, it's so hot. Okay, that's much better. I don't want to have the windows on when I'm driving faster, because I don't want the wind to be too roughly. But yeah, finish the book. I think I'll hit the next one, and then go from there. There's a second book. I may touch on philosophy books. I may touch on philosophy books too, but I don't know. I do like philosophy. I do like thinking about thinking, but I also don't want to get too deep into the rabbit hole. I mean, that's a bad thing. Just, you know, I'm going to work. I want a good story, something that keeps me going. And that's a good story, so why not? No, there, that's one more. But yeah, guys, I don't know. It's so weird that, you know, that we're alive and all that, and it's like, what's the point of it all? It's like, is it so insanely lucky? I mean, we're all, we're all chosen from the beginning of conception. It's like the odds of who you are, it's already really rare. And then, we're all here. I think the Watchman said it best, Mr. Manhattan. He said, to paraphrase really, he said, there's so much miracles in life, in the world, that they become commonplace, and I think people forget that. People forget how rare life is itself. And yet, we're beyond that. We're beyond just living, surviving, Like I was saying, we're, as a society, we're beyond just living. I guess we're thriving, if I had to put it some way, but I don't know. It's just crazy to me that, we're all here and there's no one around us. We're essentially the first ones, right? First ones of what? I'm not really sure, but it's an entire galaxy. It's like imagine you lived in a room and then you figure out there's a hole or a ceiling hatch and you open it and you're like in this vast oasis. Desert, really. And no one's around you, for as far as you can see. So that puzzles me. That puzzles me a lot. I don't know, but I guess that's what we're all trying to figure out. So yeah, let's just enjoy it. Enjoy it while we have it. Oh man, get some water. With my Meta glasses, I've been starting to listen to music on them, but I find that kind of boring sometimes. So what I've been actually doing, as I mentioned, philosophy earlier, is that I'm actually starting some philosophy podcast. And the one I've been pointed to was from just auto recommendation was Philosophy This. I'm not sure who, but just by the title itself, it gives it away. But anyways, he summarizes basically points of someone's point of view of whatever when it comes to philosophy, but they're really good, and I like them. I watched I heard one of nihilism and the Underground Man, talking about perceptions of who you are and the idea of freedom, like the idea that, you're not necessarily pure freedom is loneliness, because we humans thrive on interaction. We need to be in a relationship with the world in order to thrive, which it's like taking give and take situation. So you interact with other people. But that was a very loose summary of what that was told of the Underground Man. A short story by a Russian philosopher, Najitsky. I'm not sure his name exactly, but I hate to butcher it, but Najitsky, I think. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good points in there. I think the only problem is I have to re-listen to it, so I end up kind of like listening to it, and then when someone comes by, I pause it, and then that seems to be like taking forever. Because sometimes it'll talk to me, and with the earplugs on already, and then my headphones on, or my glasses playing music. What is happening? It's a long line. But with both those things going on, it's so much harder to hear people. So yeah, it's silly, but goodness gracious, I won't take forever to get home. Nice view of this little lake here, or river area, whatever you want to call it, or whatever it should be called, a river. Nice little swampy area. Yeah, to re-summarize the entire video, just go visit my mom, maybe some homework. Potentially go work out. That should be it. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. And stay alive. And be grateful for being alive in this crazy world, I guess. Alright, peace out, guys.